Welcome to the Learn and Talk English podcast.
It is so great to be here with you today.
Here on the Learn and Talk English channel, we are providing high-quality educational material to help you speak naturally and confidently.
And we really take our time here. We speak slowly and clearly so you can catch every single word.
Exactly. We want to make this very easy for you, even if you feel like you're at a basic level right now. Today, we are talking about how to move toward advanced English.
Right, like those C1 and C2 levels that everyone talks about.
Yeah, but we're going to explain everything very simply. So, let me ask you a question. When you think of an advanced English speaker, do you imagine someone who speaks very fast or maybe uses huge, difficult words?
I think a lot of people imagine exactly that. They picture a robot reading a dictionary.
Right. They think fluency means sounding like a university professor who never takes a breath.
But that is actually a myth. True fluency is not about sounding smart or robotic. It is about expressing your ideas clearly.
I mean, it's about feeling comfortable, right? Feeling totally relaxed in any situation.
Exactly. It's about understanding those tiny, subtle meanings in a conversation without panicking.
You know, I always compare learning English to learning to play a musical instrument, like a piano.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Yeah, because when you play the piano, you don't need to play the fastest notes to be a great musician.
No, not at all.
You just need to play the right notes with feeling.
Hmm.
That is what advanced English is, playing the right words with feeling.
That is so true. And to play those notes well, you don't practice for 10 hours once a month.
Right, which brings us to the power of daily habits.
Small habits are so much more powerful than big, stressful study sessions.
Yes, so let's talk about that. Your daily routine actually shapes your communication skills.
It really does. It's about consistent exposure.
Like listening to these podcasts right here on this channel while you eat breakfast, or maybe reading a few pages of a book before bed.
Or even talking to yourself in English while you cooking dinner. I do that all the time when I learn a new language.
You too. I sound a little crazy in the kitchen, but it works. But why does it work? What is the science behind this?
Well, from a research perspective, consistent short exposure is just so much better for your brain than studying for 5 hours straight on a Sunday.
Because your brain gets exhausted, right?
Exactly. The brain learns through repetition, meaning, and context. When you do a little bit every day, you are building permanent pathways in your mind.
It makes me think of watering a plant. If you want a plant to grow, you give a little bit of water every single day.
Right.
If you forget about it for a month and then dump a giant bucket of water on it, you don't get a huge plant. You just drown the plant.
That is the perfect analogy. You drown the plant and you drown your motivation.
So we need to water our English plants every day.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that, we move from translating in our heads to just using our intuition.
Yes. The goal is to stop translating from your native language. You want the English words to just appear in your mind automatically.
Let's help our listeners do that right now. We are going to teach you a few common, natural phrases, and I will repeat them slowly.
Repetition is key here. Say them out loud with us if you can.
The first phrase is on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
Instead of saying always or every day, try saying, I practice English on a regular basis.
It sounds so much more natural, doesn't it?
It really does. Let me say it again.
That.
On
Yeah.
regular basis.
I love that. It's a lexical chunk, meaning your brain remembers the whole phrase as one piece.
Here's another one. From time to time.
From time to time.
This means sometimes. Like, I watch English movies from time to time.
It has a really nice rhythm to it.
It does. From time.
Yeah.
Repeat that to yourself. And here's a great phrase for giving your opinion, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, that's a powerful one.
Instead of always saying, I think, you can say, as far as I'm concerned, daily practice is the best way to learn.
It shows confidence.
Let's say it slowly. As far as I'm concerned.
Beautiful. And building these natural habits is so crucial today, especially because modern life has completely changed the way we communicate.
Oh, absolutely. Technology has changed everything. We are sending text messages, using emojis, doing quick video calls.
Communication has become very, very fast.
And sometimes, because it's so fast, it becomes very shallow. People only use short, tiny sentences.
Well, I push back on that just a little bit.
Okay, tell me why.
I mean, technology is great because it connects us globally, right? But to reach an advanced level in English, you really have to go beyond those simple yes or no text messages.
That makes sense. You can't just reply with a thumbs up emoji in a serious business meeting.
Exactly. You must be able to explain your ideas, expand on them, and justify why you think a certain way.
So how do we structure those complex thoughts? Because that can be really hard for learners.
It can be, but there are specific structures that make it much easier to organize your thinking.
Let's teach one of those structures right now. It's a two-part phrase. On one hand, on the other hand.
This is such a classic, effective tool.
Yes. So imagine we were talking about smartphones. You could say, on one hand, technology connects us to the world.
Right. You give the positive side first.
Exactly. And then you say, on the other hand, our face-to-face conversations are less personal.
By doing that, you show that you understand both sides of a complicated issue.
Let me repeat that structure very slowly for you to practice. On one hand.
And then the second part.
On the other
Yeah.
hand. Using transitions like this makes you sound so organized. It shows a lot of maturity in your fluency.
Now, speaking is only one half of communication. The other half is listening.
And honestly, it might be the more important half.
I agree. But a lot of people, they only listen to reply. They aren't actually listening to understand you.
They're just waiting for their turn to speak, right?
Exactly. They are just planning what they're going to say next. But advanced communication requires active listening. Active listening means paying deep attention to the words, but also to the tone of voice and the emotion of the person speaking.
So let's teach some natural empathy phrases. Phrases you can use when you are truly listening to someone.
These are great for showing that you care.
If someone tells you they had a terrible day at the office, you could say, I'm sorry to hear that. Is it because of work?
Notice how you didn't just say, oh, sorry. You asked a question. Is it because of work?
Right. It invites them to talk more. Let me say it slowly. I'm sorry. To Kevin, here, that is it because of work.
And if they tell you about a problem that you have also experienced, you can say, I can relate to that.
That is such a warm phrase. I can relate to. That means I understand your feeling because I have felt it too.
It builds a bridge between you and the other person.
Now, what if they tell you something surprising? Like maybe they suddenly lost their job.
You want to show support, but also show that you are paying attention to the shock of it.
You could say, that caught me off guard.
That's perfect. It means, wow, I was not expecting that news.
I'll repeat it. That caught me off guard.
Using these active listening phrases really helps you understand when a topic is complex, which actually leads right into our next lesson.
Yes, expressing nuance. Because deep topics like society, relationships, or global issues, they're never just simple.
Nothing in life is just black and white. There's always a gray area.
So we need phrases to show that we understand that complexity. If someone tries to give a very simple answer to a big problem, you can say, it's a bit more complicated than it seems.
That is a very polite way to say, hold on, let's look deeper.
Let me repeat it slowly. It's a bit more complicated than it seems.
Another great phrase is, there are several factors to consider.
I use that one all the time. There are several factors to consider.
It sounds highly professional.
And one more. There's more to it than that.
Yes, there's more to it than that. It means we are only looking at the surface and we need to dig down.
Exactly. Using these phrases shows maturity. It moves the conversation away from just superficial light chatter and into a really meaningful dialogue.
But what happens when you are in that meaningful dialogue and you completely disagree with the other person?
Oh, that is the big question.
Uh,
How do you disagree with someone without starting a fight?
It can be really tricky, especially depending on your cultural background.
Right. Because in English, we want to be polite, but we also want to be clear. So let me give you some advanced, polite disagreement phrases.
These are essential for the workplace or university.
Instead of saying, you are wrong, try saying this. I see your point, but I'm not completely convinced.
Listen to how soft that is. I'm not completely convinced.
Let's say it slowly. I see
Yeah.
your point, but
I'm.
not completely convinced.
It tells them you are listening, but you have doubts.
Here is another one. That's an interesting perspective, though I'd interpret it differently.
That is such a high-level sentence. You are acknowledging their view as interesting.
But then you say, you see it another way. Let's practice. That's that. Interesting. Perspective, though. Interpret it.
Up differently. And if you want to be very respectful, you can say, I respect your opinion, but I have a slightly different take.
A slightly different take. That just means a different opinion.
Yeah.
Let me say the whole thing slowly. I respect your opinion, but I have a slightly different take.
In advanced English, you have to show confidence, respect, and clarity all at the exact same time.
I always compare polite disagreement to a dance.
A dance, I like that.
Yeah. You are stepping in a completely different direction than your partner, but you are being careful not to step on their toes.
That's a great way to look at it. You keep the rhythm even if you change direction.
But speaking of rhythm, we need to talk about natural flow. Sometimes advanced learners have perfect grammar, but they still sound robotic.
Yes, I call this the robot effect. They sound too formal or too stiff, like they are reading from an academic paper.
So how do we fix that? How do we avoid sounding like a robot?
Well, native speakers use these little conversational tools. We call them fillers.
Fillers, like words that fill the empty space.
Exactly. They make your speech dynamic, and honestly, they give your brain a second to think.
Now, we aren't talking about just saying, for 5 seconds. We are talking about natural, spoken phrases. Let's teach a few.
Perfect.
If you want to introduce a thought, you can just start with the word actually.
Right. Actually, I think that's a good idea.
Let's say it slowly. Actually. It's a great little filler word. Here is a longer one, now that you mention it.
I use this when someone says something that sparks an idea in my head.
Exactly. Now, that you mentioned it. It links your thought to their thought smoothly.
Or you can say, that reminds me of something.
Yes, that reminds me of something. It is a perfect way to start a story.
And if you want to be very honest about a feeling, what do you say?
You say, to be honest.
To be honest, I'm really tired today.
Let's repeat it. To
Be
honest. And what if you were guessing? You don't know the exact fact, but you want to guess.
You could say, if I had to guess, I'd say,
If I had to guess. Test. That is so much better than just guessing and pretending you are perfectly right.
it protects you if you are wrong.
And finally, if you really just need a moment of silence to process a hard question, you can say, let me think for a second.
There is zero shame in needing time to think.
None at all.
None.
Let me think for a second. Take your time.
These small tools are so important because they prevent awkward silences, and they show that you are thinking in English rather than translating quietly in your head.
And once your speech flows naturally with those fillers, you have the time to focus on picking the exact right words for your meaning.
Which brings us to the difference between accuracy and complexity.
Yes, this is huge. Advanced English isn't about using the biggest word you can find in the dictionary. It is about using the most accurate word.
Exactly. You don't need a 20-letter word. You just need the right word.
Let me give you some slow, clear examples of how to upgrade simple words into accurate words.
Let's do it.
Okay, take the phrase very important. We say that a lot, but you can upgrade it. You can say crucial.
Crucial. That sounds so strong.
Yes, crucial. Or you can say essential
Essential.
or significant. Significant. All of those are much more accurate than just very important. Let's try another one. Very big.
Instead of very big, try saying massive.
Massive, yes.
Yeah.
Or enormous. Enormous.
Substantial. That's a great one for business. A substantial amount of money.
Substantial. Let's go the other direction. What about very small?
You could use tiny.
Tiny or minimal.
Minimal is great when talking about risk. The risk is minimal.
Exactly. Minimal or limited. Limited.
These precise choices just make your speech so much richer and clearer for the listener.
Let's do one more upgrade. Instead of saying I don't like it, which sounds a bit basic,
You could say, it doesn't appeal to me.
it doesn't.
Be built.
Okay. Me, or more casually, it's not really my thing.
It's not really my thing. It's polite, but very clear.
So we have upgraded our vocabulary. But let me ask you a tough question. What do you say when you simply don't know the answer?
Oh, this happens all the time. People panic when they don't know.
They really do. But you shouldn't panic. You just need the right phrases to express doubt thoughtfully.
Admitting you don't know something actually makes you sound more confident.
It shows high emotional intelligence. So let's learn a few phrases. If you are only guessing, you can say, I'm not entirely sure, but I think.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think.
It's a great safety net. Let's try another one. It's hard to say for certain, although my best guess is.
That is a very professional way to say you are guessing.
Let me repeat it slowly. It's hard to say for certain, although my best guess is.
Yeah, and if you are looking at the evidence but you aren't 100% positive, you can say, as far as I can tell, it seems likely that.
As far as I can tell,
Ah.
it seems likely that.
Using these soft phrases shows that you are comfortable with uncertainty.
And right now, Feeling uncertain is just a universal human experience. Which brings us to our next topic, handling the fast pace of modern life.
Oh, this is a topic everyone can relate to. The stress, the long hours.
Yes, the universal feeling of being totally overwhelmed by work, family, and modern pressures.
Knowing how to talk about this naturally is a great way to connect with people.
So let's teach you some phrases to describe stress and time management. Instead of just saying, I am busy, you can say, I've been juggling multiple responsibilities lately.
Juggling multiple responsibilities. It paints a picture of someone trying to keep a bunch of balls in the air at once.
It really does. Let me say it again.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
juggling multiple responsibilities lately.
Or if you feel like you never have enough hours in the day, you can say, I feel like I'm constantly racing against time.
Racing against time. That is such a natural metaphor, I feel,
it's
like constantly.
Racing against time.
And when you finally need a break, you say, I'm trying to slow down and reset my priorities. Reset my priorities. Meaning, figure out what is actually important. I'm trying. Trying to slow and reset my priorities.
And if someone asks how you are doing during a crazy week, you can say, life has been hectic, but I'm managing.
Hectic is a great word for busy and chaotic. Life has
Yeah.
been hectic, but I'm managing.
You know, dealing with all that stress requires a lot of motivation, but motivation isn't always enough when you are learning a language.
Right, because motivation goes up and down. What you really need is consistency.
Exactly. Fluency comes from discipline.
Let's teach a grammar structure that advanced speakers use to talk about discipline and consistency. It's the more structure.
This is a beautiful piece of grammar.
So, for example, the more I practice, the more confident I feel.
You see how the two sides balance action and result.
Let me repeat it. The more I practice, the more confident I feel.
Or you could say, the more I challenge myself, the more progress I notice.
The more I challenge myself, more progress I notice.
It's such a satisfying way to build a sentence.
But, sometimes we put in all that effort and we don't see the progress right away.
That is the hardest part of personal growth.
So I want to teach you a deep, encouraging phrase about progress. Progress isn't always visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Wow. That is something every learner needs to remember.
I will say it very slowly so you can absorb it. Progress isn't always visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Another way to say that is growth often happens beneath the surface.
Growth often happens beneath the surface. I like to compare learning English to a bamboo tree.
A bamboo tree? How so?
Well, when you plant a bamboo seed, you water it for years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you see absolutely nothing. It stays underground.
It's just growing its roots in the dark, right?
Exactly. It is building a huge root system beneath the surface. And then suddenly, in the 5th year, it shoots up into the sky incredibly fast.
That is such a perfect way to describe language learning. You are building the roots right now by listening.
Yes, you are building your roots. And eventually, you will shoot up and be able to do the most advanced thing in any language. Tell a story.
Storytelling really is the ultimate test of fluency, isn't it?
It is. Because when you tell a story, you have to use everything at once. Vocabulary, pacing, emotion.
It's a lot to manage.
So I'm going to give you a simple 4-step structure for telling stories in English.
Grab a pen if you are listening. This is highly useful.
The 4 steps are: set the scene, describe the emotion, explain the conflict, share the insight.
Let's walk through the phrases for each step.
To set the scene, you invite the listener in. You say, let me tell you about something interesting.
Let me tell you about something interesting.
Then you build the tension to show the conflict. I'll never forget the moment when.
I'll never forget the moment when.
Then you share the insight, the lesson you learned. Looking back, I realized that.
Looking back, I realized that.
And to finish the story smoothly, you say, eventually, I figured things out.
Eventually, I figured things out. That creates a really satisfying ending.
Now, to make that story really great, you need good emotional vocabulary. Basic learners usually just say they are happy, sad, or angry.
Right. But advanced learners use layered, highly specific emotions. We call this emotional granularity.
So let's expand your emotional vocabulary right now. Instead of just happy, let's find better words.
If you feel deeply peaceful and satisfied, you aren't just happy, you are content.
Content. Let's repeat that. Content.
Or if you achieved a big goal, you feel fulfilled.
Fulfilled. That is a beautiful word. fulfilled. And if you are just in a really fun, energetic mood, you can say you are in high spirits.
In high spirits.
Well, let's look at sad. If you failed a test, you aren't just sad, you are downhearted,
Downhearted, or maybe discouraged.
discouraged. And if you are exhausted from feeling sad for a long time, you are emotionally drained.
Emotionally drained, like a battery with no power left.
Exactly, emotionally drained. Now what about angry?
If you are annoyed because something is blocking your progress, you are frustrated.
Frustrated. I feel that when my computer breaks. Frustrated.
If it is a smaller annoyance, you are irritated.
Irritated. And if you feel deeply angry because something was unfair, you are resentful.
Resentful.
Now, sometimes emotions are mixed. You feel two things at once. How do you describe complex emotions?
You can say, I feel conflicted about that.
Conflicted. It means part of you feels one way and part feels another. I feel conflicted about that.
Or, if you are hopeful but still careful, you say, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. That is a great phrase for the workplace.
No.
Cautiously optimistic.
And if you are in a situation that is too difficult for your current skills, you say, I'm feeling a little out of my depth.
Out of my depth, like swimming in water that is too deep. I'm a ladle.
Yeah.
Out. Off
Mm.
my depth.
You know, this kind of emotional intelligence isn't just for your personal life. It is absolutely critical in the professional world as well.
Oh, completely. Using English at work or at university requires a totally different tone.
Especially when it comes to persuasion.
Right. Professional persuasion is not about arguing loudly. It's about a logical presentation of your ideas.
It's about presenting evidence calmly.
So here are some persuasive structures you can use. Instead of saying, I think we should, say, one reason I believe this is because...
Notice how that shifts the focus to the reason.
Let me repeat it. One, reason I believe this is because...
Or you can rely on your experience by saying, based on what I've observed.
Based on what I've observed. That sounds incredibly professional. Based on what I've observed.
And if people are getting too theoretical, you can bring them back to reality by saying, from a practical standpoint.
From a practical standpoint.
But presenting ideas is only part of the job. Giving feedback is usually much harder.
Yes. How do you tell someone they made a mistake without hurting their feelings?
You have to protect their boundaries while still fixing the error.
Let's teach some polite feedback phrases. Instead of saying, you did this wrong, say, one thing that could improve is...
It completely removes the personal blame.
Let's say it slowly. One thing that could improve.
Another great strategy is to ask a question instead of giving a command. Have you considered trying?
Have you considered trying? Have you considered trying? It makes them feel like part of the solution.
Exactly. And you can also encourage them by saying, with a few adjustments, this could be even stronger.
With a few adjustments, this could be even stronger. With a few adjustments, this could be even stronger.
But what if a mistake happens because of a misunderstanding?
Then you need to fix the misunderstanding calmly, without pointing fingers. You say, sorry, I think there might have been a misunderstanding. Let me clarify what I meant.
That is the ultimate diplomatic phrase.
Let's break it down. Sorry, I think
There.
might have been a misunderstanding.
Let it clarify what meant.
And to finish that interaction, you say, let's make sure we're on the same page.
On the same page. It means we agree and understand each other. Let's make sure
we're
space.
Same page.
Of course, getting on the same page can be tricky because native English speakers don't always say exactly what they mean.
Oh, this is the hardest part for learners. Reading between the lines. Indirect communication.
Yes. The subtle, hidden meanings in everyday conversation.
Let me give you some examples of this. Imagine someone says, it's fine, don't worry about it.
But their tone of voice sounds annoyed.
Exactly. The literal words are, it's fine. But the hidden meaning is usually, it is not fine, but I don't want to argue about it right now.
You really have to pay attention to the context.
Here's another one, very common in business. Someone listens to your idea and says, that's interesting.
Oh, the classic, that's interesting.
When a native speaker says this slowly, it often means, I disagree with you, but I am being polite.
Right. They are avoiding direct conflict.
And one more. You invite someone to a party, and they say, I'll think about it.
I'll think about it usually just means probably no.
Exactly. They're just trying to let you down gently. Understanding these hidden meanings makes you a truly fluent global citizen.
Because it shows you understand cultural awareness, not just grammar.
Another part of cultural awareness is using metaphors naturally. Metaphors are like painting a picture with words instead of just giving a dictionary definition.
We use them to explain abstract feelings using physical images.
Let's teach 3 common natural metaphors. First, if you feel an immense amount of pressure and responsibility, you say, I am carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Carrying the world on my shoulders.
If you are making a big positive change in your life, you say, I am turning over a new leaf.
Turning over a new leaf. Like turning a page in a book to a clean new page. Turning over a new leaf.
And if something suddenly makes you understand a truth you didn't see before, you say, that experience opened my eyes.
That experience opened my eyes. That experience opened my eyes.
Using language like this allows you to create deep connections with people.
And deep connections are what this is all about. Which brings us to our final section, identity, philosophy, and the future.
Being able to talk about your personal philosophy is a major milestone in language learning.
So we will teach you phrases to express your personal identity. To tell people what you value, you can say, I'm the kind of person who...
I'm the kind of person who values honesty, for example.
I'm the kind of person who... And if you feel like you are still growing, you say, I'm still discovering who I am.
I'm still discovering who I am. That is a very humble, beautiful phrase.
Still discovering who I am.
And remember our lesson on progress. You can say, I try to remind myself that progress matters more than perfection.
Progress matters more than perfection.
I try to remind myself that progress matters more than perfection.
To build relationships, you also have to ask deep questions.
Yes. Move past the small talk. Don't just ask about the weather. Ask things like, what's a lesson life taught you the hard way?
What a fantastic question. It invites real vulnerability.
I will say it slowly so you can use it. What's a lesson life taught you the hard way?
Or you can ask, what do you value most in your life right now? What do you value most in your life right now? Asking these questions helps you connect on a human level.
And these conversations almost always lead to talking about the future.
And the future is uncertain for everyone, so we use phrases to embrace that uncertainty. You could say, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm staying optimistic.
I don't know what the future holds, but I'm staying optimistic.
Let me repeat it. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm staying optimistic.
If you are just focusing on today, you say, I'm taking things one day at a time.
I'm taking things one day at a time.
Yeah.
I'm taking things one day at a time.
And finally, a great way to express your hopes. I hope to create a life that reflects my values.
I hope to create a life that reflects my values.
You all share this humanity. We all experience doubt, hope, and transformation. Learning English just gives us a way to connect over these universal experiences.
It really does. I want to congratulate you, the listener, for spending this time practicing these advanced concepts with us today.
It takes a lot of focus to sit and absorb all this vocabulary and structure.
But remember the bamboo tree. Fluency isn't built in a day. It is built through consistent effort. Every minute you listen brings you closer to the confident speaker you want to become.
So true. I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. The next time you speak English, don't focus on translating your words perfectly. Ask yourself, am I showing my true personality right now? Focus on connection, not perfection.
Thank you for listening. Please make sure to subscribe and like, leave your comments below, and tell us what you learned today. Keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode of the Learn and Talk English podcast.